Well, hello folks. Boy, this has been a tough video to make. I'm going to show you how I've been using Stellarium to locate objects and slew my telescope lately. And you may ask, why am I not using Nina or astrophotography tool? And the answer is I do use those, and I use those when I've got my telescopes, my main telescopes. But so I've got this little apparatus going right now, and my wide field view, and I don't use those programs to control the mount with this. I actually use Stellarium, and I'll show you how to do that, how I've been doing it at nighttime. I actually was out last night, and I got halfway through the video, and then the clouds came. This has been a stretch of over 2 weeks of clouds, and I thought I had a break last night, but it was short-lived. So I'm actually going to do it in the daytime, and maybe if we do get another clearing, I'll demonstrate it at night along with this video. Now I'm going to do, because this is what I use for solar imaging too, so I've got my little PST, and I'll show you how I use Stellarium to find the sun, and again I'll try it at nighttime as well. The reason I'm going to show you with this PST is because I'm actually getting a new camera. I should be here next week, and I'm also getting another filter where I can activate my old ED80 over here, this scope, and I'm going to turn this scope into a solar scope. I'm Kurt Zeppatello, and you're watching AstroQuest 1. Well, before I get started, let me take this thing off, and I'll replace it with the PST. So I just unscrew it, and there we go. It's pretty, 5.5 pounds, 6 pounds. I love this thing. It looks really cool, and I believe it can go on my SkyGuider Pro as well. So here we go. It's upside down. Very durable. And we'll just put my PST on there. I actually got this huge bracket. I got it at NEAF a few years back. Some guy was giving these things away for like 10 bucks. I didn't even need this thing, but I just bought it for 10 bucks. Normally they're like 40 bucks. There you go. Okay, well, let me demonstrate how to do this real quickly in the daytime. First off, I start up Stellarium scope, and then I press connect. Oh, I'm sorry, you see how the screen just went shy? I don't know why my ice cream screen capture program does that, but it might do this throughout. But I just gotta, for some reason it does that, and I gotta press this button to go back to full screen. Okay, so as I was saying, I start up Stellarium scope and then press connect, and then my EQMOD control panel comes out. Now, I'll put a link on how to set up EQMOD and how you can use Stellarium scope and Stellarium right above me, and I'll also put it right in the description, so you can just cut and paste it. I have another video on how to do that. Okay, so next I'm going to press this to unpark, and I'm going to press it on solar tracking. So now that's all set up. Now we start Stellarium. And we'll give it a second. Okay, Stellarium's up and running. And now I'm gonna, see the clouds are out now. We'll come over to the north. And there it is. It's pointing towards the north pole right now. So what I'm gonna do now is just go to the sun. So I click on the sun. And then what you do in order to make the mount slew to the sun is you press Control 1, and there it goes. Alright, now the scope thinks it's, and the mount and Stellarium thinks it's directly on the sun right now, but in actuality it's close, it's real close, but I got to do a little more fine adjustments, and then we'll be right on. Now let me show you how to do that. I'm going to minimize Stellarium, and I'm going to minimize this thing, and I'm going to open up SharpCap. Now for this little video, I'm not going to waste time trying to focus. That takes a while. That's another thing. I'm just going to try to get on to the location. Can make the screen a little bit smaller than that large. You go to cameras, and I've got my guide scope. And that's my imaging camera for the sun currently. And you'll notice you don't really see anything. Looks like a gray screen because I'm not really on it. Now, what I do to get on it is I'm going to slew it, and I have a little pinhole type thing on my Coronado PST that tells me when I'm directly on it. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to slew the scope with my EQMOD. Now I'm going to go to slew speed 3. That's the best one to use for this. So here I go. Oops, I think I'm seeing something. There it is. Alright, there we go. So I'm pretty much on the sun right now. And that's it. But let's go back to Stellarium before I let you go here. And again, I'm not going to focus it right now. I just don't want to waste time doing that. So I actually am pretty close. Oh, here's where the sun thinks, or the Stellarium thinks to the mount is right now, but we really want it to be directly on the sun. So what you do to sync both things is you press Control 3. And there we go. Now my mount is in sync with Stellarium. So now if I go somewhere, now if it was at nighttime and I did that, it would be like I'd be plate solved. I can go to anywhere and I'd be directly on. And the more times you do it, the better the plate solving is. Anyways, well, I hope this helps, and I'll try to demonstrate this in the evening. We'll see you in a bit. All right, I decided to focus in after all, so this is a pretty good focus, at least with this PST setup. You can see a lot of the structure in the sun. Again, I'm a newbie at the solar imaging, so anyways, that's all I got to show you right now. And as I said, we'll see you in the evening. Well, hello folks, I'm back, and it's at nighttime, so I'm going to do a quick demonstration of Stellarium at nighttime too. So once again, I started Stellarium scope, I connected my mount, I unparked it, and I'm going to be pressing Sidereal rate, so it'll be tracking the stars, and I'm going to turn on Stellarium now. Alright, so let's see if everything's working pretty well. I should be facing Polaris, and there it is. Alright, now I'm going to go to a really bright star like Arcturus. So I click on it, and then I press Control 1. And mount is moving. I'm going to do this quickly because the clouds are rolling in. As I said, this has been unbelievably cloudy over the last 2 weeks. I haven't been able to do any nighttime imaging. Okay. Now, once again, for this, I'm actually using Backyard EOS. I'm not using APT, nor am I using Nina. I'm using Backyard EOS because I know it really well, and if I'm using it in my DSLR, Backyard EOS is the way to frame and focus. Now, if I was imaging, I would still frame and focus with a DSLR. I would frame and focus with Backyard EOS, but then I would go to APT to do the actual imaging. The reason is because Backyard EOS has a really good frame and focus on it, and I can control my Canon lens with it. Now, I could probably do it with APT and Nina, but I don't know how to do it. I'd have to do a whole bunch of settings, but with Backyard EOS, it just does it automatically. I just press these buttons, and here's Arcturus, I believe. It's already in the field of view, which is really good. And all I have to do is press these little buttons right up here, and I can control the lens. So first off, I'm gonna let's try to focus in a little bit. Let's see if that does anything. There we go. See how it's making it smaller? There we go. Okay. Oops, a little too much. Alright, now I'm going to center that thing because I believe that's Arcturus. So I'm going to move the scope like I did before, and I'm going to go to 3. And I'll just press the button and see what I can do. Okay, keep going. And then I'll try to move it into the, oops, wrong way there. Okay. And I'm going to go down to 2. See if I can get it really in there. And okay, and now I can do the fine focus here. And you want to get this FH or FWHM as low as possible. And I think most people know that. So anything below, you know, between 3 and 5 is pretty good. And it's 4.3. It looks like 4.3 is it. Yeah, let me see if I can get it up there again. Oh yeah, there's some clouds in the area too. Oh, that's what I know it. And that's about it right now. There's clouds in this area. So anyways, let's go back to Stellarium. And notice how it's not quite on Arcturus, but it's close. Now, in order to link the mount with Stellarium, you press Control 3. And there it goes. Now it's all set. Now, all I have to do is go to a different site. Let's go to this, what's this over here? This is... Oh, it's M3, globular cluster. So let's press Control 1, and the mount's going to slew to that now. Control. There it goes. Okay, so since it's on an object now, it's kind of dim. So I actually got to take an image to see if we're really on it. So I'll go to imaging, and let's see. Well, we'll keep it at 1600, and I'll just keep it at 2.8. I don't really care. I'm not really doing this to make any great image. We'll do 15 seconds and see what we get. We'll capture it. Oops. Sorry about that. And here we go, right in the center. There it is. Clouds and all, but there's that globular cluster right in. So we're looking pretty good. So I can just keep doing this all night long, just clicking around the different objects. And if it's sort of off center, I can just center it back in. And say if I go to a different object, let's go to this globular cluster. This one's M5. Control 1. There goes the mount. It's moving over. And we'll take another image here. So this was a different globular cluster. This is M5. The other one that we were just on was M3. Okay, and there it is. Not tracking well. I must have blipped something, or I didn't leave it. So we can take it again too to really check in. But that's right in the center. So I'm pretty happy with this, the way it works. So this is how I slew to various objects using this setup, as well as my solar setup during the daytime. I use Stellarium. I don't use any of the other capture programs. Anyways, hope this helps, and we'll see you later.